I still am set that Jimin is going to debut, no matter what. However, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up dropping 1 or 2 spots due to a solo fanbase slacking. Guys, today's episode is almost 3 hours long, so we're gonna speed run this recap and review. Let's start. The episode starts already on the final stage. Here the rules of the semi-finals are revealed. The votes we've been doing only saves 3 people and the other 7 are saved by the producers. I'm actually going to reveal the finalists now and we'll go into depth later, or I might even make a separate video for my final predictions. 1. Jimin. 2. Jungkook. 3. Taeyeon. These were the top 3 with votes. 4. Fuko. 5. Coco. 6. Juri. 7. Sarang. 8. CB. 9. Mai. 10. Yuju. Next, I'm gonna show the ranks if the finalists were chosen solely on votes. You'll see that even if the producers hadn't chosen, the finalists themselves would have stayed the exact same. Anyways, back to the actual episode. After some filler of the girls' moving rooms, the semi-final mission is revealed. The final test, a self-made test, where they create the entire performance by themselves. The 2 centers, Coco and Jimin, get to choose the song and the members. For members, Coco chooses Jiyoon, Sujin, Juan, Jungkook, and Yuju. Jimin chooses Fuko, Sarang, CB, Mai, Juri. Finally, Coco chooses Latada as their song. Jimin initially chose Latada but ended up with Into the New World. Since there isn't really any set lines for positions, the girls instead choose lines they fit best for each position themselves. Each gets to try out for a line they personally like. Juan struggles with confidence during their initial practice, and we then go to the second team. At first, Jimin was assigning parts. This is when Fuko interrupts, saying they should get to choose the lines they themselves want. CB and Jimin keep clashing with the parts they want, and it also ends up where Jimin keeps receiving multiple sections. When Juri, Fuko and CB are deciding who gets the dance break, they're about to give it to Jimin again when Juri adds that Jimin has already received multiple major lines due to her being a center. Giving her the dance break will make the team look like her backup dancers instead of teammates. Obviously, Jimin wasn't doing this in malice, and the girls had a reasonable explanation of wanting to give these parts to her, but I really love how Juri stood up for herself and the team. It's smart and she's right. Back to the first team, Sujin honestly takes more of the leader position, saying that she really wants Coco's own ideas to be present and implemented since it's her team. While the team has multiple ideas, Coco struggles in deciding or adding any of her own. During self-evaluation, Latat receives mostly positive feedback, while Into the New World is criticized for not really having the center be center. Juri is criticized for not being satisfied. I still stand with what I said before. I think Juri was smart for wanting to split the parts evenly, but obviously some of the major parts should be given to the center no matter. Jimin ends up crying since she really wants everyone to stand out. Anyways, let's start the actual performances. During the midpoint check, the mentors criticize them due to Sujin taking the leadership role, which I personally think is so stupid. Coco is still learning Korean. During the presentation, she struggles to read the script. Obviously, she is going to have limitations when it comes to such social roles. Sujin stood up for the role, so you know they could actually have something presentable. The team talks it out and Coco feels guilty for not putting her own ideas into the presentation. Coco then begins to be more proactive and involved with her leading. After Coco comforts Juan, we see the final performance, which I thought was amazing. I think the intro could have been a little better and more grand, but the stage design and overall theme was great. I didn't think it'd fit, but it was perfect. For the most part, the entire team is complimented for their stage, and I agree. I think they all did great. For me personally, Jungkook and Yuju were the top for this performance. Jungkook's stage presence is so good, and Yuju's rap left my mouth open. They were easily my favorites. During Into the New World ITNW meeting, Jimin addresses that some are unhappy with their parts. She understands their feelings but hopes they can collaborate and be a team. Juri offers to give up some of her parts, feeling guilty that she was being too greedy. CB expresses she felt guilty also since she was being greedy due to her descending rank. During the midpoint check, the mentors recommend the team makes the performance more personal and meaningful. I really liked the final performance. I prefer it overall more than Latada, mostly for its concept, but that really comes down to having more of a story because of the song. The mentors again most praised the team. Personally, my top favorite was Fuko and Jimin. I thought they really embodied the song well and overall were just great to watch. After some filler, we skipped to the final member announcement, which I already showed you guys at the start of the episode. So now it's time for my final predictions of the entire show. All I'm gonna say is that my predictions were right. Guess who were the top 3 this episode and who did I say was most likely to debut in my last predictions video? Exactly. I still am set that Jimin is going to debut, no matter what. However, if I'm being honest, I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up dropping 1 or 2 spots due to a solo fanbase slacking. I definitely see her debuting in the top 3, and if depending on what concept they go for, I'd see her being the center of its more girl crush. Junggun ranked 2nd, but if I'm being honest, I don't see her ranking this high in the final. Definitely in the top 6, maybe even 3rd, but I don't really see her being contenders of 1st. That being said, while I do think she is very likely to debut, I wouldn't really be surprised if she suddenly doesn't make it and is instead a producer choice, or just not debut at all. Her story with Jiyoon has been resolved, so no, it wouldn't be awkward scenario to have both of them debut, but I think her position in this save vote was mostly people really liking her and not due to her solo fanbase. Next is Jiyoon. Personally, I see 2 things happening. Either she is contendor for top 1 or she drops 1 or 2 spots. However, if I'm being honest, I really see her climbing the ranks over dropping. Obviously, her and Junggun are getting the vocal parts, and as of now I think the debut team will get a more romantic concept that's a little lighter, but not cute, similar to Iwali. I also think she'd be a contender for leader of the final group. Next is Coco. Based on the ranks of voting alone, not producer ranks, I genuinely would not be surprised if she climbs up to 3rd or even 2nd. Her solo fanbase is pretty decent and she's well liked in Korea, so she's definitely debuting. Please don't jinx it. She'd obviously be given the main dancer position, but also the rap position. And it's for this reason I think is why Yuju won't make it. While Junggun and Jiyoon did have a rivalry, recently they've been presented as a pair, as a perfect mixture. Coco and Yuju, on the other hand, are shown as direct parallels and competitors. After Coco, it's CB, who I personally think is the last trainee to be more or less guaranteed. Honestly, I don't see her ranking too high, but I don't think she rank in 6th or 5th, maybe 4th highest. Obviously, her position would clash most with Jimin. However, I honestly think if she tones it down, as I've said before, the synergy would be fine, and if not, it'd be top tier. These are the 5 I think are most likely to debut. Now let's move on to some I'm not so sure about. Honestly, for 6th place I see either Saran or Fuko, but I really don't think both will make it. This breaks my heart so bad, but if I'm being honest, I really don't think Fuko is going to make it through votes. Most of her appeal came from overall team synergy and being well liked, but she ranks 6th during this save vote. Her solo fanbase pick is not good. Where are you, Fuko Nation? Please y'all wake the hell up, guys, we gotta work. Personally, I still think there will be a 7th member that'll be a producer pick. And for this I see either Fuko, or maybe Sarong being that choice. Anyways, that's it you guys. The next time I post will be a reaction to the final lineup. Hopefully it'll be my live reaction edited, but we'll see. I didn't mention jury because I'm not really sure what can happen, but what are your personal opinions? What's your ideal lineup and who's your solo pick? See you guys next week.